Fall 2024 is the strongest anime season since summer 2022. And I would know that because I actually watched the first episode of every single anime that came out this season. So look no further, I got you for recommendations. Starting with the obvious ones, I'm sure everyone is going to watch Donadon, even if I didn't tell you to. This was one of my favorite mangas, and I'm glad to see that Science Saru has gone above and beyond in adapting it. It's just one of those few shonen manga with amazing fights and really good romance, which is kind of unheard of, I feel like. Where most shonen manga would follow the preset tropes that every shonen seems to have nowadays, Donadon says, I'm gonna do my own thing. One moment you think there's going to be a training arc so our MCs can get stronger to defeat the spirit, you know, like most shonen, but then Turo Granny just shows up in the bathroom bragging about how she's never going to give this boy's testicles back. Although Donadon has its fair share of ghosts and aliens, it's definitely not the spookiest anime this season. That would go to the first episode of Uzumaki. Yes, I am only talking about the first episode because I am still trying to forget what happened with episode 2. Uzumaki has had an amazing soundtrack. In the first episode, they used some really nice looking rotoscoped animation to create a super thick atmosphere that is just perfect for any horror anime. So my official Uzumaki watching order is episode 1 and then read the manga. Anyway, speaking of anime that didn't meet my expectations, Blue Lock Season 2 is airing, and just like last season, we get to see a slideshow of hot guys play soccer while they talk about devouring each other. And people tell me sports isn't gay. Also, I have no idea how Blue Lock Season 2 looks so mid when it was literally the best-selling manga of 2023. You would think that they would have put more time and effort and money into this production. As long as the U20 arc is animated well, I honestly don't care too much. That's the only important thing to me. But after seeing the trailer, my expectations are in hell. They're into freaking Netawell. Blue Box is like Blue Lock, except it's about a straight couple who play different sports, and they encourage each other while getting closer every day. The show has some amazing cinematography and some actual normal characters that don't seem like they only exist to sell figurines to more virgins. To be completely honest, I've almost entirely given up on most shonen romances nowadays. I'm usually just watching seinen or shoujo, or no, I'm not watching josei ever. Speaking of which, we got a new seinen romance in Yakuza Fiance with a female lead that is genuinely hilarious and super fun to watch. I also love how the Yakuza in the show aren't like goofy, you know, like the guys in the Yakuza video games. The male love interest is a Yakuza member, and he's shown just like beating up people or torturing people while not giving a single shit. The humor uses those dark elements really well to make a show that balances comedy and drama perfectly. As for the romance, I think that's something we'll have to see develop. I'm not too sold on the weird, you know, masochistic relationship they got going on right now. This season, we also got Subaru coming back to life in ReZero Season 3, and while I have been enjoying the trend of hour-long first episodes for the season, because, you know, it gives the anime a little more time to set up its premise, Jesus Christ, man. This ReZero Season 3 Episode 1 was so insanely boring. I honestly forgot how much talking and lollies and talking lollies there were. I'm probably just gonna drop ReZero at this point.
2 seconds later.
Oh no. Oh. Speaking of other worlds, you know, we got SAO, but not the absolute dogshit version, Season 2. The first episode was just a recap of Season 1, which makes sense because it came out 6 years ago. Even though I know the story will be mid at best, I'm kind of excited to see if A1 Pictures will make some cool action scenes at the very least, but Gun Gale Online was never a popular spin-off, so we'll see. My wife becomes an elementary schooler. My God, Japan, you've done it again, you sick bastards. Okay, now the worst part of the show is that it's actually really heartwarming. This guy's wife dies, and 10 years later, a little girl shows up, turns out to be his wife. And while some anime would use this premise as an excuse to be even more weird, Tensei, this show acknowledges just how weird the situation is, and it seems to be more about the husband and daughter overcoming their grief and, you know, making the most of their life. It was really touching. Check it out. Sparking Zero looks super fun. I honestly only wanted to watch it because my friend sent me this picture. God, I wish I was Krillin. Since I've never watched Dragon Ball before, I think I'm going to start with Dragon Ball Daima, which looks oh god. Why is he wearing a diaper? But if I wanted a real blue hair anime protagonist, I would watch probably the best anime show this season, Metaphor Re Fantasio. And this is made by the same people that made the Persona games, and you can tell that they have streamlined the combat to make the fights feel a lot more interesting to overcome. They're going for a fantasy setting this time, and although I prefer the urban setting that kind of grounded Persona in realism, I just finished playing the demo and I'm pretty excited to continue and defeat Griffith in the elections. Speaking of which, I'm super excited to see the rest of the 2024 presidential election anime to get adapted. We got some awesome plot twists this season, like, you know, that Trump rally, Biden dropping out, and as a manga fan, I just gotta say, you anime onlys, you guys are in for a wild ride. The Ranma 1/2 remake also looks pretty good. I've never seen the original. Slapstick humor is a little old, but it is what it is. Mao 2099 is about a demon lord reincarnating to a cyberpunk future. It has some funny moments because of the premise, and just some of the comedy elements were good. And honestly, it would be really, really good, but I would say the only thing holding it back is probably the animation, the story, the voice acting, the soundtrack, the characters, the opening, the ending, the VTubers. Shit, man. What else do I got on this list? Motherfucking Orb. Orb is about this little kid who likes looking at stars and mapping them. If the science in this show is well researched and informative, you know, it's like Neil deGrasse Tyson in those YouTube shorts I keep getting, I would say it'd probably be better than Dr. Stone, because damn, that shit was mid. And yeah, that is the fall 2024 anime. Every single one, literally every single one. I didn't miss a single one. Thanks for watching. Peace.